What's up, friends? So I wanted to hop on really quick and just kind of give a rundown of my day. I was on Zoom for 8 hours today, from 10 to 8 to 6 p.m. I know. And the question is like, well, why? What were you doing? Well, I guess I can expand on that. Well, I participated in a visual podcast by one of my dear friends, and I knew because I had some other Zoom calls today that I was going to look kind of decent, a little bit of makeup, So I was like, Wednesday's probably a better day, right? And so I said yes, kind of like saying yes to the dress, and no regrets, because anytime I can do more of a casual, engaging type of a Zoom, I find that to be really fun. So that was step one. And then two, I'm participating in providing training for the faculty on the campus that I work at. And so ironically, I was co-presenting or co-leading a conversation about how to keep your course engaging, whether you're asynchronous, meaning there's no scheduled time to meet with students, or synchronous, where you have a scheduled time to meet with students through Zoom. So that took an hour. And then this other meeting, if I was honest, I was not anticipating a meeting in between another meeting. But this next one was really more or less like a working group to help with the Green Schools movement that's going on. And one of the things that I said back at Summer Institute in June is that in spite of my own situation, I want to, and when I say my own situation as a nature-based, home-based program and not being open this coming semester and potentially in the spring, I wanted to still be an advocate for those programs that were still remaining open, or creating more access for our public charter and private school programs. And so here it was. I was anticipating only one meeting out of all of the different meetings this week. I thought I was only going to have one Green School conversation, but this was the larger group. And so I was happy to at least connect with the people that are advocating and a part of it. And honestly, it's just lending my voice. And that's what's the most important thing, is if schools have to go back face to face and have to offer that option, then why not advocate for outdoor classrooms? I think that's really important. And then soon after that, this week was, or is, the Natural Start Alliance huge conference. And myself and one of my very dear friends / colleague, I call her the doc, and her and I presented on, so the conference retitled it, but basically using nature to help children that may have been impacted by trauma. And so we recorded this a month ago, ironically. However, they offered to allow us to participate in the YouTube Live. So basically, they played our recording through a YouTube Live, and then us as presenters had the opportunity to engage with the audience by way of the chat room. So that was really rewarding. And then right after that, I'm not quite sure. I know what to call this group, but I'm a part of AAE, and we're working on a project to help, I would say, the youth. I'm not going to say any more than that, but we normally meet every 2 weeks or so. And so we were just having our second meeting. And so that was good. It was only supposed to be an hour, but it ended up being an hour and a half. But good content, good conversation. And of course, when it came down to volunteering, I said, look, I'd love to volunteer and do some more things, but I need school to start. And then once school starts, then I feel like I could have a little bit more conversation about volunteering time to do tasks. And then after that, I did not realize the college was going to have another Zoom training session. And so there I was from 5 to 6 in my 8th hour of training, or Zoom. So the question is like how do I keep myself organized? What do I do whenever I've had a day where it's just like back to back to back Zoom? That means the next day only going to have like 2 Zoom calls, if that. So tomorrow I will have maybe 3 hours worth of Zoom, but I also, thankfully for my time in social work, I have created what we called back in the day, and they probably still use this term today, is protected time. So my point is that you have to create protected time, because I know I can't do 8 hours of Zoom of every day. There's no way I could do it. But I think if I build in time where it's just protected, so that means if someone says, but D, can we do this on Friday? Can we do this on Saturday? The answer is just no. It's no, but I have these other times available because I'd much rather have the built-in downtime. So anything else that I need to do as far as working on my courses or preparing to have an 11-year-old that's going to be doing distance learning, I need to have time to do those things too, to make sure that I have everything in place. So, keyword, protect your time. And I hope this information was helpful to you all, and I'm going to probably take a quick walk. Be blessed in nature, my friends. Take care. Hello, friends. So today is July 20th, and today's been quite an interesting day. I decided to film this. I call it the Bruno Mars office. I'm a huge fan. So anyhow, today was actually a really nice day. It was the first time in, I feel like, months where I actually did not have a scheduled Zoom meeting. Hallelujah, right? So I've been working on my Intro to Psychology course because I do my micro lecture recordings on Tuesday so I can upload everything by Wednesday. So I'm steady working through that content because that has to be done. At least the PowerPoints have to be done today so then I can just record easily tomorrow. But that has been my focus primarily for today. And then also finalizing, and this is, I guess you could say, a big reveal. By the time this comes out, the article should be out. So I was asked about a week ago if I would be comfortable with Outback Learning LLC being featured as a July spotlight for Natural Start Alliance. And when I was asked this information via email, first off, I was shocked because I couldn't believe that I was being asked to even participate and engage in this conversation. So I cried alone, and then I went to tell my husband. I cried again, and then again during dinner time that night. So it was really overwhelming, very emotional. And so I've been diligently working on the questions they asked me specifically for this article. And it's been quite an experience because I really feel like I had to really try to help people understand how did Outback become what it is today. And then on top of current events that have just pushed me to a different level, like business wise, that I would have never imagined. And but at the same time, I'm just so humbly thankful for the experience. And so today I just want to talk about the importance of advocacy. And so I want to tie in 2 things, the article, and then I also want to tie in the fact that almost a week ago this coming Thursday, there was a video that I recorded back at the end of June advocating for saving childcare. And so I plan to actually talk about this in my first initial blog that I'll be launching with the website as well. But the importance of advocating for your field and what you're passionate about, I think is so important. One of the things that I've learned about being an environmental ed is, especially being a part of AAE, they've really helped me hone in on the fact that it is so important to advocate from whatever space that you're in. And so I'm an early childhood educator. I'm an early childhood environmental educator. And the opportunity to advocate for the state of Arizona, along with two phenomenal providers out of Tucson, about the importance of why childcare needs to be saved. It was just so powerful. And I also didn't feel so alone as an early childhood educator, as someone who is a provider. Whether you're part time, full time, drop in provider, we're in some sort of way, some of us are being impacted by COVID-19, especially if you are licensed or if you're a private preschool, you're probably following at least some sort of state licensing guidelines to make sure that your that safety precautions are in place for your program. And so it just, I don't know, between the advocacy and then turning around and writing an article about how Outback became what it is in the desert in a home-based setting, it was just beyond humbling. And so from a business standpoint, what I want to say to people is stand in your truth in your business. Stand completely in your truth. Don't let other people convince you what they think you should do for a business that you started. Because what works for me, and what works for somebody else may work for somebody else. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for what you think your business represents. And so for me, making a decision about how Outback was going to go forward in year number 2 was not an easy decision, but it was a decision that I felt like I had to make so I could move out of that uncertainty space. So I plan to do a separate video talking about what's the future of Outback in year number 2. But I'm also just excited that, we still sustained ourselves in year 1 in spite of COVID. And so I just want people to feel encouraged and not feel discouraged, because the reality of what's happening in childcare is that we cannot operate at full capacity. So if your childcare center typically had 100 children that you were providing care for, you can now only pretty much operate at 50% because the ratios have gone down so much. And unfortunately, unless your center or your location has multiple classrooms, so then you could, still have your 100 students, that would require 10 classrooms, but that's not always the reality. And so I think moving forward, we have to think about what does that look like? And how is childcare going to look in the next 6 months? So I hope you all are doing well, and I'm just going to continue to take you all on my journey. And I guess I'll hop on tomorrow and let you know what else I'm doing. Like I said, this week it's actually kind of nice because I'm just working. It's more of a working week versus, okay, log off of one Zoom to get on another Zoom. I'm actually very thankful for a working week. This has not happened, I feel like, all summer. I feel like all summer it is just clicking on, clicking off, one more task. But the good thing is that everything that I am involved in, it's not a waste of time. It's meaningful work, and it's work that needs to happen. So I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because that's not the case. When you believe in what you're doing, you're going to do what you have to do. So sacrifice may be the key. And at this point in time, I feel like anyone that may be in a leadership role or working into a leadership role, whatever role you're in, you're probably being asked to do things that you didn't imagine doing. That's just the truth. So I feel that way for the college. I feel that way for my website. I feel that way for Outback Learning. I feel that way about podcasting. I feel that way about everything. I'm being asked, or I feel compelled as an advocate that I have to speak up and I have to do something. So don't be afraid to say yes, but also don't be afraid to say no. I can't do this right now. I think it's safe to do whatever you think is best for you and your situation. Until tomorrow, my friends, be blessed in nature.